If you clicked on this video because you're trying to attract your fearful avoidant, then you are in luck, because I spent almost 20 years chasing emotionally unavailable people, and today I'm going to give you the ultimate secret to making sure the avoidant in your life can never stay away. Hello friends, my name is Maria, and I have successfully continued to attract avoidance back into my life by following this shrewd piece of advice given to me by so many so-called relationship experts on YouTube. But trust me, it does work. When it comes to attracting avoidance, first of all, you need to forget about any notion of communication when they are doling out the silent treatment after a fight. Second, you need to forget about criticizing their disrespectful behavior, no matter how deeply it cut you to the bone. And last but certainly not least, you re-attract your avoidant by forgetting about the relationship you had. When they reach out, you never mention any of their choices that affected you. Yeah, just forget the breakup ever even happened. Develop a light case of amnesia. I know it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but please hear me out. How many of you out there have battled the confusion of wanting to pin down your fearful avoidant, and yet you struggle with a small voice inside of you that says maybe you're being a little too accommodating to people who push you away and then expect to casually text their way back into your life, no matter how much time has passed, like nothing ever happened. Like they've never sent you spiraling over their cruel, cold, and confusing treatment. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't just forget entire chunks of my past, no matter how convenient it would be to someone who has hurt me. Okay, well, I say this now, but in the past, I took this advice hook, line, and sinker. Always being so forgetful, providing a safe, non-judgmental, non-critical space for avoidance, even if they had done me wrong. And as a result, they had no problem feeling like they could come back. What a success story! If you define success as becoming the perfect ex-girlfriend for avoidant personalities who come and go as they please after they've already used you for whatever validation they needed, exploited your kindness, and disappeared all over again. For me, this pattern went on for months, sometimes years, and yet the next time they messaged me, I was right there, texting back with open arms, pretending to forget about the pain they had caused me when they pushed me away over and over again. This advice to develop amnesia, to keep someone who has shown you so much disrespect from taking any accountability, is nonsense. So if you are not okay with pretending like you are in serious need of medical attention just to keep a relationship, and you're wondering, how can I tell if they're coming back for real? Then grab a bottle of nail polish and let's talk. All these relationship coaches tell you it's so important when an ex is reaching out that you start the relationship over from scratch. Never bring up the breakup or how badly it caused you to break down ever again. You'll run the risk of scaring them away. But if they are not willing to have one real conversation with you about why they made the choices they made, this is proof positive they have not changed, and you will relive the love bomb discard cycle all over again. You don't have to jump on them the moment they reach out, but if you need to talk about it, then now is the perfect time to begin practicing getting your needs met in relationships and filtering out people who are not serious about you. You'll find out real quick whether or not your fearful avoidant is ready to be a team player in a relationship. Loving an avoidant can be really frustrating, and so many people begin to get hopeless and they ask, do avoidants ever come back? And I believe that they do. In fact, the inspiration for this video came from a breadcrumb text I received from a fearful avoidant ex just this week. He was a man who ditched me 11 years ago. He pushed me out of his life 11 years ago. And why do you think he feels so darn comfortable sliding into my DMs after all this time? It's because when we were in our 2-year, I'm gonna call it a situationship because he would never commit, but when we were in our 2-year long situationship, It didn't matter how poorly he treated me. I would always jump right back into his arms the moment he decided to reach out to me. If your goal is to attract a fearful avoidant, this is exactly how you do it. You always allow them access to you, like you have no memory of what they did to you. When people push us away or dump us, it's understandable that we might not be feeling super attractive. So when an ambivalent, avoidant ex reaches out, we feel like, yes, I'm winning the game. I'm getting my power back, baby. Maybe when they first message you, you get a rush of adrenaline. But after that initial high wears off, you can't ignore the looming question. Are you ready to let them back into your day? Especially after the way they treated you, suddenly you become the fearful one. And I'd like to admit to you that when I was busy chasing this ex and letting this guy come back, I wasn't busy enough doing things in my life that lit me up. So he felt like a breath of fresh air, and it never occurred to me that the drama of that situationship was suffocating my potential to be emotionally available to someone who could honestly love me. Every time someone who is avoiding intimacy with you rudely blows you off, don't just forget about it and greet them with open arms, giving them everything they want in that moment. They weren't interested in talking to you when you were open to talking. And they are not entitled to get all of your wonderful attention just because they snap their fingers. Maybe they haven't proven they even deserve your grace and kindness. This is not about sticking it to people, but it's also not about just happily going along and scooping things under the rug, forgetting our patterns of being too available that got us into this position in the first place. Learning about ourselves and relationship dynamics is a lifelong process. And if you're struggling with an avoidant who seems to be a little too entitled to your time, I want you to know that I understand what you are going through. Because of the choices I made in my past to be too nice to people who weren't being so nice to me, well, that's why this guy from 11 years ago, he has no shame in texting me. It's pretty bold, actually. But I do believe that it does take something bold to happen in an avoidant's life to compel them to reach out. And in this particular case, my ex's roommate got married. You see, for almost 2 decades, my ex lived together with his roommate, and they were both pretty confirmed bachelors. Well, not anymore. One of them decided to move forward with his life, and big life changes can really shake people up. I'll bet now my ex is beginning to feel the pressure of feeling like the last man standing. And just for reference, my friends, my exes, we are all approaching 50. It's my theory that this is the age range where people who are avoidant, people who deep down always wanted love and a family, but because of their fear, they wouldn't let themselves have it. Now they are freaking out. Time is no longer their friend. It's breathing down their neck, and the loneliness no longer feels like a relief. It feels like a punishment. If you are single right now and you're around this middle age range, being alone is not necessarily a punishment. A lot of people enjoy being single. If I didn't have the partner that I had right now, let's say he got hit by a bus, and I went back out into the dating world and it was clown shoes all over again, my God, I would so much rather be single. Heck, I'd rather eat my own tongue than beg one more man to be with me. And I know a lot of you have also gotten to that point. Good. That's just flat out self-respect. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a comment from a viewer, Durwood Hamburger. He stated that now when he shoots his shot, if he gets rejected, he gracefully bows out. He's reached a point in his healing where he would rather be single than chase people who reject him. And he also said that he hopes that doesn't sound too snobby. Well, the comment disappeared and I never got to respond, but Durwood, please don't ever think that walking away from someone who doesn't see your value, please don't think of it as snobby. It is the ultimate embodiment of people who have respect for themselves. Someone like me, I see it as admirable. It was one of the hardest things I ever learned how to do. It takes a lot of work for people who have an anxious attachment wound to get to that point where they can walk away, and it's not an overnight process. I have a video where I talk about learning how to get better at this called Your Badass Reaction When They Pull Away, and I'll link it in the description down below. So, something in your avoidant ex's life has now caused them enough anxiety that they reached out. But how can you tell that they've truly changed? The answer is in one question. How do they reach out? Sometimes in life, people make relationship mistakes. And they prove to you that this was a big mistake by coming back into your life in a real way. They are willing to talk about things, and no one has to pretend that they have amnesia. No one has to pretend that your relationship didn't happen. When someone believes they've made a huge mistake by letting you go, there will be no confusion. That's the biggest sign, because they are explaining this mistake to you over dinner, and they have a very specific intention for that meal, like to apologize. They say, I am sorry. I would like us to be official. I am not willing to risk you being single and out on the market, not for one more second. Please, if you are watching this, do not accept the whole dinner and the let's just see where this goes. You guys have already done that, and you know where it goes. No more indirect directs like my ex telling me he's thinking about me because his roommate got married and he is brazenly calling me a nickname that is an inside joke from times that, let's just say, we were playing together. But what the hell am I supposed to do with this information after 11 years? He's messaging me knowing I have a family, so he hasn't changed, and that's how I know he hasn't changed. He's not seriously looking for anything that could be real. Plus, his MO was always to intermittently ignore my messages, but he would always message me in the middle of the night, sweet talking me, which this time it's still exactly what he did. It's the same pattern. So, in analyzing this data, we can safely arrive at two conclusions. Number one, he's feeling very sorry for his own loneliness, and number two, at the very least, he still thinks I look good. Who cares? Welcome to the other half, where we know attraction is not just about looks. We also need to take care of the inner half, because we will never have a genuine relationship with people who think we look pretty, but they are still only focused on how they feel at any given moment without actually taking you into consideration. And the fact that this guy messaged me knowing he knew my partner might have seen it, it says he has no respect for the peace that I've built and the work that he forced me to put into getting over him. But hey, that's okay. Let's face it, if there's anything we've learned from avoidant personalities is that when someone messages you, you're free to do whatever you want, and that includes not having to message people back. I could see the top part of what he wrote to me, but I am not going to open this message because although I have no animosity towards him, I hope someday he finds someone that truly cherishes him. I haven't forgotten about what happened, and I don't care to threaten the peace that I have created for myself with people around me who don't yank my chain. Sure, your empathetic side knows that your avoidant can struggle with fear and becoming lonely. It's not your problem. You see, it would be so convenient for your fearful avoidant if you just developed amnesia. But it's when we conveniently forget about these things and act like their behavior never happened that they keep getting everything they want, and you are still left with a continued feeling of emptiness in your relationships. Because it's still all about what they want whenever they want it. If someone comes back to you after months or years, it better be because they have something significant to say. And just so you don't forget, use the image of my nails as your little red minder. This color was a gift from a viewer. Thank you very much, Rachel. I will don the red all week, rooting for you. And if you would like to learn how to attract your ex simply by becoming fast food, I'll put that video right here. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting the other half.